I don't really know how it started, apart from the fact I'm a huge Helen Mirren fan, and she used to, uh, I think, be part owner of a bar in New Orleans called Matador, and I loved it. And a friend that I was there drinking with bought me a Matador painting. And I put it in my house, and I started going out to flea markets and antique stores and Goodwills, and finding that there were an enormous number of people who didn't want their Matador paintings anymore. I don't know why. I'm sure it goes back to being forced to watch the Lawrence Welk show by my parents when I was growing up. It was sort of a Saturday evening tradition, and I always wanted to watch Hee Haw. But they made me watch the Lawrence Welk show, and that, I'm sure, leads to why I like bluegrass music and country music. But I really didn't think much about polka till I was in Cleveland. I was working at Great Lakes Cedar Festival for a year, and Cleveland is one of the polka capitals of the world, and I started hearing the music and buying some CDs and visited. I think there's some polka museum there, and it's such happy music. You know, it's incredibly happy music, and it's just great. I don't know that I listen to it to really teach me anything about life or anything like that, but I love that it's just really, it's one of those things that makes me happy. Now, it's really frightening to think that I'm listening to Frankie Yankovic sing the Who Stole the Kishka while sitting in a room surrounded by matadors. I really wonder, you know, I'm not quite the cool, classy person I wanted to be. I did an outdoor drama in Indiana when I was younger called The Battle of Tippecanoe, which was a brand new outdoor drama, and I went off to Indiana on my own, striking out like an early pioneer. And I got to the theater on the first day of rehearsal, and they said, "Okay, you know, these actors are going to go to fight choreography, and these actors are going to go to dance, and these two actors are going to work on a scene. And Preston, we need to take you down to the stables to meet your horse." And I'm like, "My what?" But no one said anything to me about horses. I don't like horses. I played Alan String and Equus. I had this entrance I had to make where I had to like rush out on stage on the horse and lead the army into a cheer and go burn a Native American village down. Um, and Peanut would do things like throw me before I got on stage. So the horse would come on without me, or Peanut would not go, and I would have to pull it out, and Peanut would get sexually excited on stage and cause the entire audience to howl with laughter while I'm trying to have my great dramatic scene. Peanut was awful. Peanut was the worst performer I've ever had to work with. The work before rehearsal is really important to me. I spend a lot of time getting into the world of the play. I love to travel to the place the play took place. You know, for instance, Diary of Anne Frank, I went to Amsterdam. I've been to Norway now to really get that world of the Ibsen plays. I went with a friend of mine who had never really been in the South down to Georgia when I did Tobacco Road, and we drove down roads that probably should never be driven down, and he was like banging on the windows screaming for me to turn around and take him back somewhere that had Starbucks. But I try to really immerse myself completely into the world of the play, the books, art, music from the period, everything, so that when I go into rehearsal, I really know that world. And then I believe very strongly in a collaborative process, that everyone in the room is bringing great ideas and encouraging those great ideas, and that I'm sort of there to guide them, to lead them, and to sort of filter and edit those ideas to create the final thing that we want to show with the public. I try to create a balance, so that there's something for everyone. I was walking out of the theater and I heard a man behind me saying to a friend, "What I love about Triad Stage is that we get to see something of everything," and that's what we try to do, um, with a good heaping helping of risk thrown in there. I would say that The Caretaker is one of those highlights for me. Tobacco Road is definitely a highlight. The Diary of Anne Frank, which is not, I think, one of the great works of dramatic literature. It's a wonderful story, and it's a story that has to be told, but it's not a play that I think is one of the great plays. But I think we really did something different with it, and it's part of the partnership with One City One Book and with some of the schools really enabled that to live in a way that served the community, I think, in an interesting fashion. The Ibsen projects, that both Hedda Gabler and Ghost, have been very, very important to me. And of course, everything I've done with Laura Lynn, Brother Wolf, and I'm really looking forward to Providence Gap, because I feel like we're finding our legs on those first three projects, and now we're ready to sort of head off in a new direction, maybe. For me, there is no greater experience in life than that unique uh, communication and sharing that happens between a performer and an audience member. Um, there's something so amazing about how ephemeral theater is. Sometimes you see shows and you're like, I'm so glad theater is ephemeral, because this means this will never happen again. But truly, that it only happens this one time, in this one space, this way, is the most extraordinarily, for me, thrilling and incredible aspect of the work.